Alright, we're going to get started soon. Got a finished setup. Oh, we got a couple people in. Sorry, I was almost late. Excuse me. Hey, we got Connor. How am I feeling, Shannon? I'm alright. I'm alright. Still feeling pretty bleh. What else we got? We got Crazy Vlogs. Welcome. Welcome, guys. We'll get started in about a minute. You guys doing pretty good, I hope? You're 1 minute past time. So sorry, Crazy Vlogs. So sorry. I saw the video you made. Thank you. Never mind, 2 minutes. Well, we start the show about 1 minute after going live to let people come in. Thank you, Crazy Vlogs, for the shout out. What's this at? All right, it's on the good stuff. It's on the good stuff. Hey, there's Javier and Richard. Welcome back, champs. Right. Crazy Vlogs, try resetting it. Maybe going to my profile and then finding it and then clicking on it. That should be a little bit easier. Sometimes I have to reset it that way as well. Hello, Richard. All right, guys, we're going to get started. We're going to go ahead and start with Blurt first. Connor, I'm not feeling too well again. I'm still pretty sick. But that's okay. This is super fun, so I'm going to keep doing it. I kind of decided... Oh, is it because you come on earlier? Perfect. That's good to know. It happens to me too when I'm on my other phone. I decided to take the day off today and make it easy and just stream instead of doing my other stuff. So, got some good rest this morning by accident, but still it was well needed. All right, this will be the last stream of the night. We're going to do another live game show where I host and keep score. You play by commenting. We're going to go ahead and move on to Blurt. Blurt is where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, to breathe in a noisy way while sleeping. A second definition, the front of the lower jaw. First person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Snore is correct. That is a point for Javier. Javier, welcome to the scoreboard. As a returning champion, you are entered in as red. Hey, James M., welcome back. We have chin is correct. That is 2 points for Javier. James, you were a close second. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, a musical instrument that has pipes through which air is blown to produce different tones. The second definition, the countries of Asia. James M., another former champion, welcome back. It is not a bagpipe. It is not a trumpet. Connor, I think you had a typo. I'm going to repeat the second definition. Organ was the correct one. A musical instrument that has pipes through which air... Oh, I'm sorry, that's the first one. The countries of Asia. Josh the Great, welcome back. Most previous entrance. All right, I'm going to give organ to Connor because I think that's what you meant. Connor, welcome to the scoreboard. It is not nation. All right. I don't think there's anyone's going to get this one, so I'm going to go ahead and put done in the chat. It was Orient. Orient. The countries of Asia. Orient. Oriental. Connor, keep coming back. You'll get in the Hall of Champions eventually. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, one of the thin parts that stick out from the body of a fish. The second definition, a living thing that is not a plant. Fin is correct. That is a point for Javier. A living thing that is not a plant. Animal is correct. That is 2 points. Oh, wait. Josh, did you mean to say fin? When you said fun, was fun a typo for fin? Either way, Javier got the point for animal. Autocorrect is so fun. All right. Josh, welcome to the scoreboard for Finn. Josh is a returning champion. You are entered into the scoreboard as red. I'm lenient on typos. Fun looks close enough to Finn. Oh, you're welcome. We like to keep it fair, fun, and friendly. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, a sheet of canvas stretched across a metal frame and fastened with springs. The second definition, a thin pointed weapon that looks like a small arrow. Trampoline is correct, and dart is correct. Crazy. I was wondering which one you even meant for brain. All right, first person on my screen who said trampoline. It looks like Richard Green. Welcome to the scoreboard. As a former champion, you are entered in as red. And the first person on my screen to say dart was Javier. Right. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, a metal bar attached to the front and back of a car, bus, or truck to protect it from being damaged if it is hit. The second definition, not being able to hear well or to hear at all. Bumper is correct. Crazy Vlogs, you've got the point for bumper. Crazy Vlogs, welcome to the scoreboard. All right. This is a funny typo to get the point. Not being able to hear well or at all. Josh the Great, you said dead. It was deaf. That's a clear typo. However, that works too. But you still get on. You're already on. You still get the point. It's a funny typo because it's still kind of accurate. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, a small swelling on a plant that contains a flower, stem, or leaves that have not yet developed. The second definition, something kept to remember a place, person, or event. You're watching on your phone? That's cool. We got Bud. That's a point for Richard Green. Ashes. Something kept to remember a place, person, or event. Sometimes people will put ashes in urns, and the urn can be a morbid one of these. Think of like fridge magnets or something a local has made and people bring back as a blank for Souvenir is correct. It's a point for Crazy Vlogs. Crazy Vlogs are currently in the lead for entering the Hall of Champions. Moving on to another round of Blurt, the first person. Blurt is where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will go to points on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, a small animal that has 8 legs and spins webs to catch insects. The second definition, any one of the 5 parts that go outward from the hand. Spider is correct. That's a point for Javier. Finger is correct. That's a point for Josh the Great. That's a point. So, Javier, you're at 5. Josh, you're at 3. Richard, you're at 2. Connor, 1. Crazy Vlogs, 2. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will go to points on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, the inside upper surface in a room. The second definition, water plants such as seaweed that do not have roots, stems, or leaves. Ceiling is correct. That's a point for Javier. Water plants such as seaweed that do not have roots, stems, or leaves. And Javier, here's your point for ceiling. Starts with an A. Algae is correct. That's a point for Javier. All right, we're going to move on to Tribon. All right, Crazy Vlogs, I will pop out my chat and let you know. It's not that you have bad internet. It's that if you sent it so close to Javier, if you guys both sent it so close to each other, it'll show both of you on your screens that you said it first. However, we use my screen. Javier said ceiling, and then you said it Crazy Vlogs. All right, we're going to move on to Tribon. Oh, adios, Connor. Yeah, YouTube tech isn't perfect. We're going to play Tribon. The first person to tell me what these 3 things are will get a point on the scoreboard. Sorry if this is U.S. specific. Regular, premium, unleaded. Gas is correct. That's a point for Javier. I don't know what they would call it. That's what they say on our pumps, regular, premium, unleaded, and diesel. Although you don't see diesel on every pump. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Monitor, memory, keypad. Computer is correct. They are parts of a computer. We give the point to Richard Green. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. This might be tricky. We have double hitch, half hitch, outside clinch. Have you got a cold? I've been sick for about a week-ish. A little less, a little more, roughly. It's getting worse, but... Plastic Fantastic, welcome back. Yeah, I'm fine, though. I decided to stay home today. Not that I was going to go anywhere. Anyway, it's kind of a joke because I work from home. Nobody has it yet. Double hitch, half hitch, outside clinch. This is a tricky one. I think this answer screws people over almost. It's not. There are types of knots: double hitch, half hitch, outside clinch. That one's always a tricky one. Plastic Fantastic, you got it. Javier, you were a close second. Plastic Fantastic, welcome to the scoreboard. And as a former champion, you are entered in as red. Oops. Jaden, welcome. Good timing. We're only about 15 minutes in. And there's only 2 people so far competing into the Hall of Champions. James, I feel like I would have guessed trailer too on that. Plenty of sleep and plenty of fluids. I know, right? We'll get some good sleep tonight. When you guys say fluids, I do have cream soda right here, but I do not think that's the fluid you are talking about. Moving on to Tribon, we're going to give you guys 3 things. First person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. We have soft, super, wiffle. Do you guys want to play password? Is that what I'm seeing? IYS Josh, and he's great. Ball is correct. That's a point for Richard. James, you were a close second. I have a technical difficulty. So much so that I can't even hit the sound for it. Give me 1 second. See if this works. Cool. Back at it. All right, Jaden. Hope to see you another time. I also need to get some sleep. But not for another couple hours. Moving on to another round tribe. On the first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common, we'll get a point on the scoreboard. A flag, a kite, a bird. Fly is correct. That is a point for Javier. Baronator, you're only halfway through DC? Javier, you got a point. Baronator, you're only halfway through. Are you walking? I was chugging today. Chugging what? Oh, man, dude, I don't know how much you've hitchhiked before, but hitchhiking through a city, I try to always get dropped off at the edge of city going out of town, because one of the hardest things about hitchhiking is if you get dropped off on one side of the city, but you need to leave the other side of the city, it's the hardest hitchhiking scenario to be in. You have a lot of people passing you, but a lot of people are just going inside the city. So you want, if you're hitchhiking, I don't know how much you've done it. I know you said you've done it a few times, but you want to always be at the edge of the city to the direction you're going, because then you know everybody who's passing you is leaving the city. Whereas if you're on the edge of the city, but you have to go through the city, that is the worst scenario to be hitchhiking through. Hitchhiking seems so dangerous and risky. It's fun. Yeah, the risk is life. Yeah, good and bad. We're going to move on to another round of Tribon. Tribon is where I give you guys 3 things. First person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Baronator should be on the side of the road, baby. What are you doing? We have Elizabeth, Cleopatra, Nefertiti. Queen is right. That's a point for Josh the Great. All right, moving on to another one. Barinator, got to be careful. First person done with these three things have in common. I'll go to points on the scoreboard. Fishing, finished, dotted. Barinator, do you record your trips at all? Oh, wow. Wow, Barinator. I had some sketchy encounters when I was... Line is correct. That is a point for plastic. Fantastic. I think one of the sketchiest things... One of the sketchiest rides I had... That's fair. I would have recorded them too. One of the sketchiest rides I had, I was in El Paso, or not El Paso, I was in Texas, hitchhiking with some random guy I met, and we were sleeping outside of a gas station, in the front of the gas station. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I fell asleep with my sign that said El Paso, Texas. We were on our way to El Paso. We were like 3 or 4 hours away. It was like 2, 3 in the morning or something. These rednecks, they kick us. I wake up and they were like, "You going to El Paso?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we are." He said, "We don't got room to take you." And I'm like, "Well, why did you wake us up then?" And he's like, "I just thought it was funny. We were going to the same place." I'm like, "Dude, you should just let me go to sleep." And my buddy talked to him, and they ended up putting us in the bed of their truck. Well, they were on him and these two buddies were going to do a job, and so there's only 3 seats in the truck. They had all the tools in the back of the truck. We get in the truck, sitting on top of these tools. It was a short story, almost over. We'll go back to the game soon. Sitting in the bed of the truck with all the tools, couldn't even see the bottom of the bed. I fell back asleep, woke up an hour later. I went to go turn around. The dude I was with, he's like, "You don't want to look." I'm like, "What are they doing?" He said, "You don't want to know." And all of a sudden, the window opens at the back glass because there's an old truck, and a beer can comes flying out into the back. I'm like, "What the heck?" And he said, "They've been playing drinking games since we left." And I'm like, "You gotta be kidding." And then the dude ended up swerving off into like a field, and then and we were on the highway, ended up swerving off into a field, swerving back on. That was probably the most dangerous ride I was in, just because they were drunk driving and I was in the back filled with tools. And so if that would have, if we would have crashed, that would have been, and that's the most dangerous ride I was in without the drivers themselves being weird towards me. That was the most dangerous ride because they were just drunk driving. But there was other dangerous moments too. Sorry, we'll go back to the game. We're moving on to another round of Tribon. Tribon. Yeah, that was the worst place to be. Tribon is where I give you guys 3 things. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. We have Australia, Africa, Asia. Yeah, Barinator, a lot of people drink and drive. Yeah, Richard, that could have been the end of me. That's true. Continent is correct. That's a point for Josh the Great 2. Josh, did I miss you having 2 last time? Josh, why do you have 2 accounts? Thank you, Barinator. I am also glad to be here. You're on an alt. Josh, I'm not putting you on the scoreboard twice. You got 5 points. God dang it. Whoever subbed this fireworks for you. Oh. That's Josh. Thanks. Moving on to another round of Tribon. Tribon is where I read 3 things. The first person to tell me what those 3 things have in common, we're going to point on the scoreboard. He, she, they. You'll get Josh the Great 3 in here. Reminds me of Evil Egg too, yeah. Yeah, Barinator, I'm glad you've been checking in. I'm glad to hear you're still alive. Pronoun is correct. That is a point for Josh the Great 1. Sorry guys, I love telling stories. I try to keep focused. You might want to get off Texas Speech. Josh thy Great. Oh my God. Yes, Barinator, I'm glad. Barinator, do you ever record anything, or do you journal while you're out there? Do you document it all? Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person done with these three things have in common. We'll get a point on the scoreboard. Corn, sourdough, pita. Corn, sourdough, pita. Bread is correct. That is a point for Javier. Javier, where are you? You're at 10. Documented it once on your coast to coast, though. That's cool. That's cool. I'm probably not going to go again this year. I might go again next year, but. First person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a points on the scoreboard. Yellow, Mississippi, Rio Grande. I think the most I ever documented was last year when I went to Canada. I documented a lot for that. But, like, I'm not really good at vlogging, to be honest. Still a skill I have to get better at. River would be correct. That's a point for Javier. I don't know. Vlogging was always a weird concept for me. I've tried it so many times traveling, but I've never watched any other person's vlogs ever. And so I have no clue what I'm doing with vlogging. And that's not like a humble thing. Like, I just genuinely suck at vlogging. So it's a lot I have to work on. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me these three things have in common, I'll get a point on the scoreboard. Martin, Robin, Pigeon. Vlogging can be weird. It's a skill. I mean, just like knowing what you think people would be interested in is a skill for sure. Bird is correct. That's a point for Javier. But then video editing is its own skill. Sound design is its own skill. Where are you, Javier? Oh, you're up here. Moving on to another round of Tribon. First person to tell me what these three things have in common, I'll get a point on the scoreboard. Smirking, beaming, grinning. Bird is the word. Javier got the point for bird. Bird is the word. Bird is not the word for this one, though. Smirking, beaming, grinning. Smile would be correct. That is a point for James M. James, you keep coming back. Love seeing it. Welcome to the scoreboard as a former champion. You know the drill. You enter in as red. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me these three things have in common, I'll get a point on the scoreboard. We have card, board, video. Card, board, video. Yeah, I think hitchhiking truly is one of my favorite things to do in this world. Game is correct. That is another point for James. James, you're at 2. It is fun. People don't believe me when I say sitting on my backpack for 8 hours in the desert waiting to get into a stranger's car is one of my favorite things to do. I don't blame them for not believing me, but man, it's fun. Moving on to another round of Tribon. First person to tell me these three things have in common, I'll get a point on the scoreboard. Frog, toad, tadpole. Well, when I put it that way... Yeah, well, I usually just tell people getting into strangers' cars and going with them wherever they'll take me is my favorite thing to do, which is true. It is one of my favorite things to do. Amphibian is correct. That's a point for Richard Green. Pocky Rahu, welcome back. You were a close second on that. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me these three things have in common will go to points on the scoreboard. Black Widow. Daddy Longlegs, Tarantula. That's awesome, Baronator. I've hitchhiked together with I think only 2 people in the past. I think I've only ever hitchhiked with 2 people in the past. One of them I met out there. One of them I met on the Appalachian Trail, which was my ex-wife, and we hitchhiked together to get married. Spider is correct. That's a point for James M. I've met other hitchhikers while I was hitchhiking, but I've only ever hitchhiked with 2 other people, I think. Well, That's not true. When I was on the Appalachian Trail, the most common way on the Appalachian Trail to get to town for food or to get a hotel was either hitchhiking or getting a shuttle. I always chose hitchhiking because I love to hitchhike. So I guess I've hitchhiked with probably, oh my God, a dozen or more people, but little rides from one town. But actually across the country, it was only about two. But I forget about those little trips. Yeah, when I talk about the 10,000 miles I've done, it doesn't even include the times I was on the Appalachian Trail. A third of the Appalachian Trail I walked every time I had to go resupply. Almost every time I had to go hitchhike to town. I forget about that. No, plastic, fantastic. I've not done the trains because it's a felony, and I don't want to get a felony, and it's also kills about 700 people a year, so it's very dangerous for legally and health wise. And for there's a long story short, it's extremely dangerous. It looks really cool, but that's because you only see the videos of the people who don't die. I'm not gonna lie, it's something I would really like to do, but I might be past that stage in my life where I'm willing to take that risk. Not the death risk, it's more so the felony risk, to be honest. Moving on to another round of Tribon. First person telling me these three things I have in common. I'll get a point on the scoreboard. Saturn, Mercury, Ford. Tip number one is always don't die, whether you are playing a sport, a video game, hitchhiking. Types of cars is correct. That's a point for James. Only second time you've hitchhiked with someone. It can be fun. It can definitely be fun to hitchhike with someone. Vroom, vroom. We'll see if I pronounce this right. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me these three things I have in common, I'll get a point to the scoreboard. We have aloha, hasta la vista, au revoir. Au revoir. You're eating a bag of chips for dinner and an apple. That apple's the healthiest thing I've heard a hitchhiker eat. Ways to say goodbye was correct. That's a point for Javier. I eat horribly when I'm hitchhiking. Absolutely horribly. Javier, that's a point for you. Do you cook when you're hitchhiking? I have a little stove that goes onto some fuel, and I got a little pot, and I'll cook with. I'll cook like oats in the morning and ramens and pastas and stuff. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common. We'll get a point on the scoreboard. The Hopi, the Sioux, the Illinois. Pie Javier. This one might be weird. This is for North America. The Hopi, the Sioux, the Illinois. If somebody would have left, they would have won the round. This one might be to North American sandwich. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put done in the chat. Whoever subscribed, this firework is for you. Indians is correct. Indians is correct. Good job, James. That was a tricky one. Guess who just subbed? Thanks, Josh. James, you're at 5. Oh my god, that's funny. Moving on to another round of Tribon. Actually, I don't think I did all those. No, I did not. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common, I'll get a point on the scoreboard. Boardwalk, waterworks, jail. To be fair, at one point I think I had 5 YouTube channels. Now I'm only down to 2 or 3. Boardwalk, waterworks, jail. Boardwalk, Waterworks Jail. I'll give another one. Ah, there we go. Monopoly. There's spaces on Monopoly. James, you're getting that. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Father Bear. That's a good correction. We have pine, palm, cedar. Oh, awesome, Baronator. Thanks. I appreciate that. Tree is correct. I know you guys were close with wood, but I'm too tired to think. So I'm giving it to tree. I think the more tired I am, the less lenient I am. Josh, you get it. Thank you, Baronator. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common, I'll get a point on the scoreboard. Octopus, octagon, octacord? What? I don't know what an octacord is. 8 is correct. That's a point for Josh. Yenticles. Point for Josh. Octa what? Octa cord. Moving on to another round of Tribon. First person to tell me these three things have in common, I'll get a point on the scoreboard. Triceratops, sauropods, Tyrannosaurus, dinosaur is correct. That's a point for Josh the Great. Rar. Close enough. First person to tell me what these three things have in common, I'll get a point on the scoreboard. Chow, grub, slop. Extinct is definitely correct. They are terms. They are slang terms for food. That is a point for Josh. $10 points you're at. Prison food. I'd give it to you for that. All right, we're just get. No, it's U.S. specific. We're actually not going to do that. All right, moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me these three things have in common, we'll get a point on the scoreboard. We have Jack, Joker, Queen. Jack, Joker, Queen. Cards is correct. That is a point for Josh. Going on to another round of Tribon. Baronator, do you carry a tent with you? Yo, Mike Tones, welcome. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me these three things have in common, I'll get a point on the scoreboard. Iron Mike's in. Yeah, you do. Awesome. Baronator, have you been on other backpacking trips? Like, do you ever do like hiking trails and stuff? What the heck is this? We're going to skip that one. It's U.S. specific. We are playing Tribon. First person to tell me these three things have in common. I got a point on the scoreboard. Road, weather, treasure. Josh, thy great. There's your thing. Map. There's a point for Javier. That's awesome, Baronator, that you do your other backpacking stuff. Yeah, that's one thing I love is that like my backpacking gear is the same whether I'm hitchhiking or whether I'm like going on like long hiking ventures for a couple months. Like it's like 95% the same gear, which is awesome. That's cool. I'm the same. I have a tent for if I'm backpacking or if a tent if I'm going camping with friends or family. Moving on to another round of Tribe on. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. A shark, a comb, a saw. A shark, a comb, a saw. Yeah, Baronator, my my backpacking tent, I only strictly use it if I'm backpacking. Because it's very lightweight. Lightweight. It's teeth, Javier. I'll give it to you for tooth. Moving on to another round of Tribon. First person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Schwinn, Huffy, Trek. Schwinn, Huffy, Trek. Josh the Great. You are staying on as Josh the Great, no matter how many points you get on different names. But thank you. You get another firework just for fun. Ash, welcome back. Of course I remember you, Ash. It's been a while. Mike is correct. That's a point for Mike Tones. Iron Mike, welcome to the scoreboard. As a former champion, you are entered in as red. Welcome back, Ash. Hey, Ash, I remember you, but you're not on the Hall of Fame yet. So you better stay till you at least get on. Just for Fun Fishing is Josh now? Nope, that is not Just for Fun Fishing. That is just Josh the Great, Josh the Great 2, Josh the Great 3, and Josh the Great. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Ash, I've seen you so many times. You need to get a point. You need to get in the Hall of Fame by now. We have whimpering, blubbering, sniveling. Or is that sniveling? That might be sniveling. Josh the Great. God dang it. Take another firework. Thanks, Josh. Crying. There are terms for crying. Point for Javier. Ruby the Fox, welcome to the live game show where I host and keep score. You play by commenting. We're playing a game called Tribon. You like Mike Tones, Iron Mike, and Brawny. Ice Mike. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Life, suit, bulletproof. Vest is correct. Ruby, are you a poet? First person on my screen to say vest was Mike. Soft brisket, warm brisket, little ball verbs, happy brisket, sleepy brisket, pat, pat, pat. That would be top tier poetry of our time. Right there. All around the world, you all heard it here first from Ruby the Fox. Moving on to another round of Tribon. How many Joshes you want? Put them all in. Oh, is it Brawny? Brawny's back. Hey, Brawny. Welcome back. We're playing Tribon. The first person to tell me these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Kimono, sushi, judo. Oh, kimono, sushi, judo. I hope you guys are having a good trip. Brawny and Mike Tones are, I think, coming back or going to around hanging out around a beach where Baronator is pitching a tent behind a dumpster. And we all have very different Ideas of vacation, and mine leans closer to Baronators. Japan would be correct. They are Japanese words. That's a point for Richard. Which you are. That's funny, Josh. Richard. Hey, Alexio Gaming, welcome back. Dumpster rats. I have slept behind dumpsters, that's for sure. Moving on to another round of Tribe on the first person who told me what these three things have in common. I'll get a point on the scoreboard. Welcome back, Alexio Gaming. What the heck? All right, we have Greyhound, Great Dane, German wire-haired pointer. You had a raccoon trying to fight you for your apple? Man, I would have given that raccoon the apple. That's funny as heck. Dog is correct. That is a point for Javier. Slept in a tree before? That's cool. I have yet to done that. You gave him part of it. Now we're friends. Good. That's an easy way to make friends with a raccoon. I used to have a pet raccoon, and then I had a friend raccoon that was not the pet. You just got to give him food long enough. I have a picture of me petting a raccoon that was not my pet. That's pretty cool. It's actually the first picture on my phone. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common. We'll get a point on the scoreboard. We have vapor, fume, smoke. You had a fox steal your chicken? Was it like a pet chicken, or was it like a rotisserie chicken? Like, was it dinner? It's not steam, Josh. The great. Not oxygen. First person to correctly guess will get a point on the scoreboard. Term for gases. There we go, Ash. There we go. Ash, I have seen you so many times. Ash, I've seen you pop in so many times here and there. But I just checked. Good job, Ash. You get the point. Welcome to the scoreboard. And Ash, it looks like this is the first time you've earned a point on this game show. So congratulations. I will be adding your name to the Hall of Fame, where once you enter, you never leave. You are the 165th person to enter the Hall of Fame. 165th person to earn a point on this game show. You said continents, but continents was not the correct answer. Fair enough, Richard. That's a good reason. I would have too. Oh, a cooked chicken meal. That makes sense. Josh, you are in the Hall of Fame as Josh the Great. Moving on to another round of Tribe on the first person to tell me what these three things have in common. I'll get a point on the scoreboard. SWNESE. Oh, God. Did I shave my head because I look like Mr. Clean? I did shave my head. And I guess that is an unfortunate side effect of shaving my head, that I look like Mr. Clean. I do have an eraser, but I do it all the time. Bread and continents were not the answers. Mr. Clean is wild. You want to slap cheese on my head? I'm not a baby. Can I do the smile? Oh, man. Let me see who got the point. Directions is correct. With a point for Javier. All right, hold on. The Mr. Clean smile. What is he like? I think he leaked in one of them. Oh. Hold on, I'm looking it up. There you go. There's the Mr. Clean stuff I just Googled. We're getting back to the game. Sir, I said bread and continents. Continents was... All right, hold on. Alexio, let me see back. You said continents, Alexio, but your stream might be very far behind because that was not the answer for that one. And then you said bread. Bread was not the answer. Bread was not the answer for that question. All right, continuing on. Looking more like you just joined. Yeah, that's fair. Uh-oh, Mike, I hope you guys get some better reception. Join. Moving on to another round of Tribon. Tribon is where I give you guys 3 things. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. A cafeteria, a freezer, a smoker. Josh is tagging himself. Josh, how many devices are you on right now? Did you say Fox? A cafeteria, a freezer, a smoker? Where did you get Fox from, Josh? Food is closer than anything else-ish. What do you put food on? Cafeteria, a freezer, a smoker. Tray is correct. They all have trays. Cafeteria tray, a freezer tray, a smoker tray. Fox definitely answered. It's a point for Javier. All right, moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Picasso, Matisse, Van Gogh. Painter is correct. By the way, if you guys are hearing a word for the first time, don't go off of my pronunciation because I'm probably also hearing it for the first time. Like Matisse, M-A-T-I-S-S-E, Matisse. I have no clue how to pronounce that. So, do your due diligence. Because that's the first time I've ever read that. Josh, you got the point. Josh is just out here competing with himself. We are Josh. Moving on to another round of Tribon. First person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Tan, bronze, chocolate. Hey, Baronator, what does your girlfriend think of you hitchhiking? It's a good reference. Color is close. Brown. They are shades of brown. That's a point for Javier. She gets nervous. That's fair. Well, she'd get more nervous if you brought her, so you could always give that as an option. And then I feel like she'll be a little less nervous when you're not mad that she says no to you bringing her. Tell her that, make her feel better. Tell her, don't worry, the tracking apps won't stop me from getting shot. That probably actually will not help her anxiety. And I'm just joking around. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Shortstop, catcher, center field. Baseball is correct, Josh. The great. She probably does look at you like you're crazy, and you might have a screw or 2 loose to love hitchhiking. That was a long bridge. Mike, welcome back, Iron Mike. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common, I'll get a point on the scoreboard. Biology, Ecology, psychology, biology, ecology, psychology. Bronny, welcome. Should be getting you the Neuralink chip next. Oh no. Science. Types of sciences. Point for Mike Tones. Over my dead body? Possibly. If you're out there doing that. Yeah, I tease a lot, but you are truly doing one of my favorite things, so. Moving on to another round of Tribon, where I give you guys 3 things. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Sedan, compact, wagon. Car is correct. That is a point for Josh the Great. Wow, Josh, I don't know. You're killing it. You have so many phones going on. Adding himself is funny. Another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Jealousy, happiness, guilt. Emotions. I think it was right. Yeah. This point for you, Josh. First person to get the oh, we're gonna do one more, then we're gonna go on break. I realize it's halftime. I'm gonna bring my phone with me. Do not believe a word Josh the Great says. All right, I will take the 5 points from Josh the Great away then, as per request from Josh the Great. Moving on to Tribound. The first person to tell me these 3 things that I have in common, I got a points on the scoreboard. Memory, go fish, bridge. I am joking with you, Josh. I'm giving you your 5 back. Card game is correct. Another point for Josh. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common, I'll get a point on the scoreboard. Sight, smell, taste. Oh, Richard. They are sense. Josh, you got it, Baronator. You're real close second. All right, guys, this is officially the halftime point of the break. So we're taking a 5-minute break. At the sound of the gong, 5 minutes has started. I will be bringing my phone with me this time. At the sound of the gong, the 5 minutes has started. At the sound of the air horn, the 5 minutes is over. I do keep my stopwatch on me. Oh, let's watch regulars now. You guys all know that. If I can find it. There we go. All right. I will have fun with my 5 minutes. You have fun with your 5 days. It starts now. Hey, it's Shannon. I host the games and keep score while you play them by commenting. If you would like to support the channel and enter the Hall of Supporters, my Cash App is Shannon1742. My PayPal and Venmo are mindfuldiscovery@yahoo.com. These should be pinned in the comments. If you are interested in any of the games played on this show or the props used, I have affiliate links in the description. I earn a commission for each product bought at no extra cost to you. Another way you can show support is by purchasing my book, Beyond Solitaire, 52 Unique One-Player Games. This is a book on learning the rules for 52 solitaire-type card games with various levels of difficulties, chance, and skill. I wrote detailed instructions for new and experienced players to be able to learn these games, along with setup pictures for examples. Beyond Solitaire, 52 Unique One-Player Games is available on Amazon as a paperback book and on the Kindle store. It is also enrolled in the Kindle Unlimited program. We have a minute left in the break. Who will enter the Hall of Champions tonight? The three key principles for this game show. We want to be fair, we want to have fun, and we want to be friendly. I personally want to thank this community and everyone in the Hall of Fame for helping develop this positive game show experience. Alright, still have like 30 seconds. Reading the comments. Braintree's close enough. Brawny's lightning fast. His brain's as big as a tree. Braintree's fitting. I like Braintree. Well, your brain is like a tree. It branches out. Yeah, Richard. Yep. That's funny. Similar thinking. Ugh. That's a weird thing to autocorrect to, by the way. Braintree. Why is that even in your phone? Break's over. Last stream of the night. We got an hour left. Hey, Matty Garcia. What's up, fam? We are playing Tribond, Blurt, yeah, whatever the heck else comes up, right? Give me a second, I gotta turn off this sign. Welcome back, Matty Garcia. Welcome back. We just got off of the break. Matty, I haven't seen you in a little bit. You're a former champion. Now the new system is champions are entered as red. Everybody else competing is entered as black. You guys want to play Password? Sure. I stopped at the grocery store for 3 minutes and it goes crazy. All right. We'll move on to Password. Maddie, I haven't seen you in forever. You're number 17 on the Hall of Champions. I was curious what number you were, so I just looked it up. I'm going to double check on that. Yeah, number 17. Oh, yeah, let's read them scores out. Since we just got back from break, we have 50 minutes till the champions announced. Amongst the former champions, Javier has 20. Josh the Great has 16. Richard Green has 6. Plastic Fantastic has 2. James M has 6. Mike Tones has 3. Amongst everyone else competing to enter the Hall of Champions, Connor has 1. Ash has 1. And in the lead with 2 points, Crazy Vlogs has 2. Right, continuing on to another round of Password. Wow, somebody could definitely just come in and just get on the Hall of Champions. All right, moving on to a round of Password. The first person who corrects, I guess, my one-word password, get a point on the scoreboard. Typos are not allowed. All right. If you are a vegetarian, you could go outside, pick a lot of plants, put it in a bowl, and eat this. And you would call it a salad is correct. That is a point for Maddie Garcia. Maddie, welcome to the scoreboard. And as a former champion, welcome back. And you are on the scoreboard as red. Hey, Legal Toast, welcome back. Am I all right? I'm a little sick. I've been sick since a family gathering a week ago, but I'm alive, so I'm fine. Moving on to another round of password. The first person to correctly guess my one-word password to get a point on the scoreboard. Thank you, Legal Toast. Typos are not allowed. Gotta catch up. Gotta catch up. Typos are not allowed in password. What is it called when ice falls from the sky? When it freezes at a certain temperature, it's not quite snow, not quite water. Hail. Point for Javier. Brawny, you were a close second. Went on to another round of password. The first person to correctly guess yes, but somebody is always entering into the Hall of Champions. Somebody is always entering into the Hall of Champions every stream. This might be the lowest lowest amount of points somebody will enter in. What the hell? What the hell? Moving on to another round of password. First person to correctly guess my one-word password to get a point on the scoreboard. If all of your actions are for yourself and you are not very sharing, you are considered blank. If you just think about yourself, selfish is correct. That is a point for Mike Tones. Maddie, you were a close second. Mustang Mike, welcome back. Where are you, Mike? Tones. So far for entering the Hall of Champions, Crazy Vlogs is in the lead with 2, and I don't even think Crazy Vlogs is still here. That means Mustang Mike, if you get 3 points, you would be in the lead for entering the Hall of Champions, and that is announced in 52 minutes. Nope, 47. Continuing on to another round of password. First person correct to guess my password, get a point on the scoreboard. Oh, it's stuck. You have to open candy from its blank. This is also a type of music if you spell it wrong. Rapper is correct. That is a point. Oh, Mike, you got the point for earlier, but I was telling Mustang Mike that if he got 3 points, he would enter the Hall of Champions. But Mike, you got the point. But then I was talking to Mustang Mike after. Rapper is correct. That's a point for Maddie Garcia. Maddie, you're coming in with 2. Cool. The heck is that? I don't even know what this is. It's called Mindful Discovery. We're going to learn. Never mind, we're not learning. Moving on to password. The first person to guess my one-word password will get a point on the scoreboard. If something is not tame, it is blank. Is that what that plastic stuff is on my candy? Yeah, that's funny. Wild is correct. That's a point for Javier. Brawny Dangerous is a good guess, too. Oh, Vicious is also a good guess. Oh, no. All right, moving on to another word, round of password. I should Google where this is. All right, now maybe I'll learn. Oh, yeah. Okay, moving on to another round of password. First person to correctly guess my one-word password to get a point on the scoreboard. Typos are not allowed. This is a bone in your body. It is the longest, strongest bone in your body. It plays an important role in how you stand, move, and keep your balance. Femur is correct. That is a point for Javier. Moving on to another round of password. The first person to correctly guess my one-word password will get a point on the scoreboard. Dang, Javi's smoking. Yeah, he's got them points. Got them points. Moving on to password. First person to correctly guess my one-word password will get a point on the scoreboard. Then we're going to switch up the game for a little bit after this. Ducks have this. Chickens have this. Arrows have this. Some famous boxer has a quote with this and a butterfly. Oh, no, he doesn't. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Never mind, this isn't in there. Feather was the correct answer. I was thinking of light as a feather. That is a point for Richard. I confused the quotes, my bad. All right, we're going to switch it up to Blurt. Blurt is a fan favorite. Blurt is where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, the 5th and smallest finger. The second definition, a weapon with a sharp point attached to a long pole. Mike Tones, but we don't take typos, so Javier get it. Oh, wait. Never mind. We're not playing password. Ponky is acceptable. Mike, you get the point. My bad. Mike Tones, you did get the point for Ponky because it's close enough to Pinky, and I brain lagged. Spear is correct. That's a point for Javier. Fun fact about SpaghettiOs, Ash, is there is a world record for alphabetizing a can of SpaghettiOs. I think it's been beaten 3 times in the last 4 years, and it's down to like a minute 30 something. But yeah, you can break a Guinness World Record for opening a can of SpaghettiOs and alphabetizing it. I think you just need A through Z. You don't have to do the whole can. Brain lag, stream lag all the time. Yeah. Fair. Moving on to another round of Blurt. Blurt is where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, someone who builds or repairs things that are made of wood. The second definition, a piece of clothing with no sleeves that is worn loosely over the shoulders. The goat eats the best cheese. Carpenter is correct. That's a point for Mike Tones. A piece of clothing with no sleeves that is worn loosely over the shoulders, and it's strapped around your neck. That's a better way that it should have said. A piece of clothing with no sleeves that is attached around the neck. All right, Baronator. It is A piece of clothing with no sleeves that is strapped around the neck but still draped over the shoulders. Poncho's not a bad answer. Poncho is not a bad answer. But it's not it. Nobody really wears these for practical reasons. They're typically part of a costume. At least I've never seen somebody wear one for a practical reason. No practical reason that these would be worn. The cape is correct. I don't think there's a practical reason to wear a cape. Javier, you're going to get it. A collar. Well, there's no practical reason for you to wear a collar in public, at least. So that's a good guess. That's funny. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. That was a good one. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, a meal eaten at midday. The second definition, large eyeglasses with protective side pieces that are worn to shield the eyes from dust, sun, water, or wind. Yeah, that was a tricky one. The lunch is correct. That's a point for Mike Tones. Mike, you're at 6. Goggles is correct. That's a point for Mike Tones for saying Giffles. Moving on to another round of Blurt. Typos are fine. Moving on to another round of Blurt where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. To keep 2 or more objects in the air at one time by skillful tossing and catching. The second definition, the track of waves left by something moving in the water. Juggle is correct. It is not ripple. I'll repeat the second one. The track of waves left by something moving in the water. It's not wave, but that's close. It is not wave. The track of waves left by something moving in the water. Track of waves left by something moving in the water. Weave. Nope. Does start with a W. 4-letter word. Oh, you guys are pretty stumped on this one, huh? That's fair. I don't know if I would have got this one. It was wake. Oh, Richard, you said it right after. Let me refresh my screen and see if it'll put you above when I said it. Sometimes that'll do it. Oh, you said it right after, Richard. Right after I put done. It was wake. Fun fact. I don't know. I've never tried this sitting down, but I can juggle. Oh, yep. Sitting down doing it is pretty difficult. I don't know why. All right. Never said I could juggle well. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person. You work close, Richard. You can do it in one hand. That's cool. I bought a tricycle, or not a tricycle, a unicycle recently. I still have to try out. It's actually, that's my first time trying to juggle sitting down. It's way easier to do it standing up. Just out of time. You're so close on that one, Richard. Moving on to Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition, the underground part of a plant that absorbs water and minerals from the soil, stores food, and keeps the plant in place. The second definition, an imaginary sea creature with the head and body of a woman and the tail of a fish. Josh the Great, welcome back. Root is correct. Mermaid is correct. First, Javier got both of those. You want to try unicycle too? Yeah, I got one on Marketplace for like $20. I haven't tried it yet because I wanted to record me trying it for the first time. Javier got both those points. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. It was cheap. It was also not in the best condition. Somebody tried to fix it at some point who had absolutely zero knowledge about bicycles, and I didn't realize that till after I bought it, which is fine. I understand now why it's cheap. To the point where I would, and I've worked on bicycles a lot before, and I have all the tools in the world to work on, like pedal bicycles, but I'm going to struggle to fix a part on there that breaks because of the jerry rigging that was done. Moving on to another round of Blurt. The first definition, a public show in which cowboys display their skills, as in horseback riding. The second definition, an instrument used to show directions. Rodeo is correct. Yo-yo. Compass is correct. First person to say rodeo is Mike Tones. First person to say compass, Javier. Yeah, basically what happened with the unicycle is they broke the pedal off, and I think they tried to use the wrong pedal. That's a lot of pounds. That's a nice BMX. What they did here is when, I guess they at some point tried to replace a pedal, and they must not have known that one pedal is specifically designed for the right and the other specifically designed for the left, and so they're threaded different. And I think they tried to thread a right one on the left or whatever. And what they did is they jammed it in there, and they used this expanding foam to keep it in place. So they just put foam in there that expanded and then scraped off the rest, completely ruining that thing. So that's gonna so I hope the pedal doesn't break, because that's gonna be annoying. So yeah, moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, a written message that is usually sent by mail in an envelope. The second definition, a book with blank pages in which collections of photographs, stamps, or other things may be kept. Josh, you get the point for letter. Album is correct. I'll give it to you, Mike, for photo album. They are typically 1 word, but you still got it. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. The first definition, a long, slippery fish that looks like a snake. The second definition, a group of stars that is thought to look like an animal, a person, or an object. Ooh, Richard, that does sound costly. Eel is correct. That's a point for Mike. Josh, welcome back. Constellation is correct. That is a point for Josh the Great. All right, we're going to move on to Tribon. Tribon is where I give you guys 3 things. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. We have DC 9-volt. DC 9-volt. Battery is correct. That is a point for Javier. Javier, you got 30 points. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Birds, snakes, silly putty. Eggs is correct. They come from eggs. Birds, snakes, and silly putty. I forget that snakes come from eggs. Silly putty. I had to Google it. But yeah. Silly putty comes from an egg. That's a point for Javier. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Pike, perch, piranha. Fish is correct. That's a point for Javier. Crazy Vlogs, you're currently, welcome back. You're currently in the lead for entering the Hall of Champions at 2 points, but you're still in the lead. However, there's still a little less than half an hour, so that can still change. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. We have Christmas, fortune, ginger snap. It's fair, fun, friendly. Cookies, correct. That is a point for Javier. Ooh, yeah. Moving on to another round, Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. We have king, hermit, fiddler. Crab is correct. That is a point for Javier. All right, guys, we're going to play a round of Battleship. We will do Justifiable Thoughts potentially next. We're going to play a round of Battleship right now. All right. How Battleship works is you guys have to guess where I have my ships hidden on my battlefield. The first person to hit that part of the ship will get a point on the scoreboard. Don't start guessing yet. This is my ships are hidden on a 10 by 10 grid. The columns are labeled from top to bottom: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. The rows are labeled with the letters. The columns are numbered from left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The rows are labeled with letters. You must pair a letter with a number. For example, you could say A1 or J10. Many points can be handed out to the players. Go ahead and begin. Well, as many guesses as you would like. One guess per comment. Woo! We're going to go ahead and stop it there. We're going to go ahead and stop it there. That was a lot less than I thought. Oh, never mind. It's a lot more once I start reading them, huh? All right. Where's my good marker? Makes this a little easier. All right, what do we got here? We have A5. Hit. We have a point for Javier. B5, miss. D3, miss. C5, miss. J5, miss. D5, miss. G3, miss. E5, miss. F5, miss. G2, miss. A8, hit. That is a point for Richard. H5, miss. G5, miss. H5, miss. H4, hit. That is a point for Richard. I5, miss. J4, miss. I1, miss. B9, miss. I2, miss. H4, hit, but it was already a hit. B4, miss. B5, miss. I3, miss. I4, hit. That is a point for Javier. G4, hit and sunk. That is a point for Mike Tones. Iron Mike is out here sinking ships. E2, miss. J10, hit. That is a point for Richard Green. Guys, I can't wait till I'm not sick so I can get my spunk back. Where are you, Richard? Right here. You're at 10. Oh, my enthusiasm back, you know. I can't wait. I6, miss. F4, hit. Mike Tones. I7, miss. I8, miss. J7, miss. I9, miss. I3, miss. D4, hit. 1.4, Mike Tones. Continuing on. I10, hit and sunk by Javier. Boatman. Right. G1, miss. H7, miss. A6, hit. That is a point for Richard Green. C4, miss. H1, hit. That is a point for Javier. Oh, excuse me. H3, hit. That is another point for Javier. H2, hit. That's another point for Javier. That is a sink. Nothing extra reward for sinking. I just let you guys know. C6, miss. H4, hit, but it was already a hit. H6, miss. And that is the end. All right, Mike and Bronny, enjoy. Twisted T69, welcome to the live game show. I host and keep score. You play by commenting. Bronny, Mike Tones, enjoy you guys' lunch or dinner. I don't even know what time it is. 9:34. Woof. Rough one. We have 20 minutes until the winner is announced. You can multitask. Nice. I'd be eating plain too. Moving on. Somebody requested Justifiable Thoughts. I personally really like that game. I'm missing a stack of somethings. Where do they go? Name something that... Alright, so there's how Justifiable Thoughts works. I have you guys name something. And I give you a random letter. Your answer, whether it is a single word or a sentence, must start with this letter. Name something that cannot fit in your stomach. Oh, I didn't even give you guys the letter. My bad. Sorry, guys, I'm a little tired. Name something that cannot fit in your stomach, starting with the letter T. Sorry, I forgot. I gotta get the letter. Sometimes I forget. Starting with the letter T. Starting with the letter T. Telephone pole. A toe. Mike, it could fit in your stomach. A tiger couldn't. Javier, you're gonna forget the first T, correct? T one. A trampoline definitely could not. Javier, you're getting the point for telephone pole. Name something bigger than the Statue of Liberty, starting with a B. I don't think in any world. Belgium. All right, that's a great answer. Belgium is definitely bigger. Crazy Vlogs. I do not think a trampoline can fit in somebody's stomach, no matter how you look at it. Javier got Belgium. Richard, you're a close second. Name something you would consider junk, starting with the letter N. Starting with the letter N. Hey, Chris Kits, welcome back. It's been a long time. We're currently playing a new game called Justifiable Thoughts, made just for this stream. You'd consider nuts junk, huh? I would agree with you. I do not like nuts. Chris Kits, I'm going to give it to you. Chris Kits, welcome to the scoreboard. Where's my thing? Here we go. Welcome back, Chris Kits. All right. I am winning. I am not winning. I am sick. I am not winning, but I'm having fun. All right. By nuts, you mean nuts and bolts. I mean the chewy nuts. They suck. I'm not a fan. All right, guys, we're going to move on to another round of justifiable thoughts. No problem, Bronny. Justifiable thoughts is where I have you guys name something starting with a certain letter. The letter is different every time. Crazy Vlogs are in the lead with 2. Connor has 1. Ash has 1. And Chris Kits has now 1. In 16 minutes, the new champion will be decided. It's addicting. Yeah, everybody's really liking this one. Name something that can not float, starting with the letter B. Thank you, Chris Kits. Name something that cannot float, starting with the letter B. Your one-word answer or a sentence, either way, it just must start with the letter B. Yeah, I love the ridiculous answers. All right, Mike, I'm going to Google if a bear can float. Yes, bears can float. Uh-oh, what's the next one? A bomb could. Can a bomb float? How do I even... Can I Google this? I'm not going to Google that, actually. And I'm just going to give you the point for bomb. So, yeah. Hey, Baronator, welcome back. I've decided not to Google that. And Josh, you're going to get the point for bomb. Yeah, okay. Continuing on. Oh my god, yeah, it is a bad idea to Google. See, yeah, Moving on to justifiable thoughts. Oh my god. Yeah, I decided against Googling that. Of all the things, don't Google that. No, yeah, I agree. Name something you don't want to see in a mirror, starting with the letter A. Correct, Barinator. Name something you don't want to see in the mirror, starting with the letter A. Thank you, Richard. I would agree that is probably the best decision. An ant in the mirror wouldn't bother me. You know, Mike, I'm going to give it to you for Arsenal because I'm not part of the Army. So if I saw a bunch of Army weapons and Arsenal in the mirror, I'd probably be freaked out. It was a bad segue after the last thing I almost Googled, so I would especially be freaked out. Mike could get the points. Barinator, I'm glad you're still alive. Moving on to another round of justifiable thoughts. Where is the worst where would a bad place to find a lasagna be? Starting with the letter C. Ooh, cat's mouth, you win. Oh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if I want to eat that lasagna, it's in a cat's mouth. I wouldn't be very happy. Oh, Crazy Vlogs, you were a close second with carpet. A cantaloupe coming to eat it. A couch would be bad. Curbside. Oof. These are great answers. These are great answers. Cat, Javier, you were the first one with a good answer that started with the C. Moving on to another. Garfield did love lasagna, but if any other cat in the world had a lasagna in their mouth and that was my dinner, that would be a bad spot. Be a bad spot. Name a bad scent. Name a can. Sorry. Name a scent you would not want a candle to have, starting with the letter F. Fart. Oh, yeah. Okay. Josh, you're going to get that. Fish. Oh, yeah. Frog's feet. Oh, my God. Josh, you're going to get it. First one with an F. Name something that can fit inside a belly button, starting with the letter S. Hey, Christina, welcome. Name something that can fit inside a belly button, starting with the letter S. Sand can. That'd be a point for Josh. Seed, sand, silk, skin. Yeah. Oh, good answers. All right, we have about 10 minutes left in the third and final game show of the night. Name something yellow, starting with the letter B. Oh, that's easy. Banana is a point for Josh. Oh, sorry, Christina, but I will be streaming 3 times tomorrow. Last game. Beans could fit in your belly button. That's a good one. A ball? Really, that'd have to be a really small ball. I give the point to banana for Josh. A bee could. Oh, that's the last thing I would want. My belly button. Yes, I will be streaming 3 times tomorrow, though. All right, skip that one. Name something that's hard to get off of your shoes, starting with the letter G. Gum. Still stifling? Yeah, I've just been actually getting worse. Josh, you're getting the point. For gum, y'all said gum. Grease is a good answer, too. Guts would be hard. Yeah. I've just been getting worse. So. A gun would be easy to get off. I agree. You would just pick the gun up. But a gum would not be. Moving on to another round of justifiable thoughts. Name something you should not slap, starting with the letter S. Not in public. A sloth. Yeah, all right, Mike, I agree. You shouldn't slap a sloth. Sibling, definitely don't slap your siblings, your sisters. Your school to no, none of these don't. Retro Frog on the go. Welcome back, Retro Frog. Do not slop. Do not slap a sloth. Mike, I'll give that to you. Where are you on the scoreboard? Right here. Welcome back, Retro Frog on the go. Hey, tuck over. Name something pink starting with the letter T. T-shirt, Christina. You'll get a point there. Welcome to the scoreboard. We have about 5 minutes. You got it for T-shirt. There definitely can be pink. Crazy Vlogs, you were close second with Ty. Name something you should not put your signature on, starting with the letter N. You're welcome. All right, what do we have for some of the answers? This is called Justifiable Thoughts. Christina, you said a note, and I said name something you shouldn't, or you should not put your signature on, but I think many people would put their signature on a note, unless you mean like a bank note. Actually, there are definitely types of notes you should not put a signature on, and a bank note would be one of them because you can get in trouble for that. That was justified. There are some notes that you would not put a signature on. Christina, that was easy. I'm going to give that one to you because you were the first person to say nope. Ended up, at first I was going to say no, and then I thought about it, and it is justifiable. I signed nothing. Good. Your neighbor. Yeah, don't sign your neighbor. Name the worst place to find a raccoon, starting with the letter R. We have restroom. Josh, I don't know how Monopoly would work. It would not work. Board games don't work very well on the stream. Mike Jones with restroom. That is a good answer. Name somewhere you shouldn't skateboard, starting with the letter M. The mall. I agree. You should not skateboard inside the mall. There's probably a raccoon outside your tent. That is a point for Mustang Mike. Mustang Mike, welcome to the scoreboard. We have just 2 minutes left. Oh, Christina, you have 2 points, which means you and Crazy Vlogs are tied for entering the Hall of Champions. Awesome, Mustang Mike. Moving on to another round of Mountain. There's some good answers. Moving on to another round of Justifiable Thoughts. Name something you would hate to see while you're inside of a submarine, starting with the letter T. I would hate to see a tank too. Mike, you're going to get that. Moving on to another round of Justifiable Thoughts. The first person to correctly guess. The first, wrong game. Moving on to Justifiable Thoughts. You guys have to name something starting with the letter that I give. Name something that... No, we're not going to do that one. Name something you can love, starting with the letter H. Last round, but we're probably going to have to do a tiebreaker. Name something you can love, starting with the letter H. Hey, Ghoster. Welcome back. Mike Tone said hobby. Mustang Mike was a close second, of course. All right. We are at the end, but we have a tiebreaker. We need to do a tiebreaker round. So, how this works, there's really 2 ways we can do this. We can either go until somebody who is tied gets a point. However, I realized earlier thinking about that that's not going to work. We're not going to do a coin flip. So, right now, Crazy Vlogs and Christina are tied with 2 points. We've had a lot of champions dominating the scoreboard to this stream. Crazy Vlogs and Christina are dominating with 2 points. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to do overtime. I've decided in the past not to add 2 people into the Hall of Champions. I did that before, and I didn't feel like it was a good idea, the full-time break. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to continue play like normal, but this is a tiebreaker round. This is the rest of the game is going to be played just for everybody entering the Hall of Champions. Anybody can play, but I'm only going to be giving a point to anybody with a black name, and as soon as one person is in the lead, they will enter the Hall of Champions. So, all of you former champions can still play, but this means that Connor could catch up, Ash could catch up, Mustang Mike and Chris Kits, they could catch up. As soon as one person who is competing is in the lead, you will enter the Hall of Champions. Everybody else can play, but I'm only giving a point out. So if Javier gets it first, or it doesn't matter what champion gets it first, I'm going to only give the point to the first person competing. Okay? That's how we're going to play that. So, everyone's a winner as long as you're having fun. We're going to continue on. Name something you could find in your dream that starts with the letter D. History. All right. I'm going to pull up my chat for this to show you. Excuse me. It's time to announce the scores. Before I show you my chat, I'm going to announce the former winners first. Whew. Amongst the previous champions, Javier, 43. Josh the Great, 24. Richard Green, 11. Plastic Fantastic, 2. James M, 6. Mike Tones, 19. Matty Garcia, 2. Amongst everyone else competing into the Hall of Champions, we have Connor is 1. Ash is 1. Chris gets 1. Mustang Mike 2. Christina 2. And coming in first place, entering the Hall of Champions, as you can see, Crazy Vlogs coming in first place with 3 points. Said dime right before Christina said dream. And a dream inside of a dream is possible. I would have given the point. But Crazy Vlogs, you said dime first. Congratulations, Crazy Vlogs. You are the new champion. That was right down to the wire. Love seeing it. Those are my favorite shows. Congratulations, Crazy Vlogs. Christina, thanks for coming in the last few minutes and giving Crazy Vlogs a run for earn it. That was cool to see. Josh, I have to be careful with overtime. I can't let it go too far into overtime because, well, I would like to have a consistent system between streams, but if this were like my second stream of the day and I had another one, I only have an hour between streams, and so if it went 20 minutes over, then I might have to skip cooking or something in between streams, and if I need to eat during that hour, that could really suck. So So I can't let overtime go too long. Yeah. I do have systems in place. Crazy Vlogs, congratulations. Let me go back and catch up a little bit. Yeah, I am pretty sick. Barinator screen is black on the computer. Oh my god. Yeah, that would be because it's not plugged in. Yikes. Wow, the grand reveal was nothing. Oh my god. I've done that a couple times. I really wanted to show the screen. Christine, you said I'm helping you lowering your anxiety. Good. I don't know how, because some people get really anxious from this one. But here is where Crazy Vlog said dime and Christina said dream. I just wanted to pop it up. Oh, Christina, I am glad. Hey, default, welcome. Well, Christina, I'm hoping your anxiety stays down, because we're all here for fun and for a good time. I'm sure that didn't help your anxiety right there at the end. Sorry about that. But once you get in the Hall of Champions, you'll never have to worry about it. It's some people just come for fun. Some people like to compete. I like to keep it friendly and keep it a competitive nature for the people who do like the competitive part. But of course, keep it fun, and I like Justifiable Thoughts because that's fun and funny. Default, welcome. Barinator, that was a really funny sentence. Probably sounded weird to the raccoon outside my tent, just me inside laughing. Sorry, Christina. Yeah, you keep coming back. I'm sure you'll make it. Default, haven't seen you in so long. Welcome. We've added so many new games. Well, a few new games. Default is the second person. Oh, no. Sorry. Yeah, you are. Default, you were the second person to comment. But what was your number on the Hall of Champions? 7th. Default was the 2nd on the Hall of Fame and the 7th on the Hall of Champions, coming in here from the beginning like a month ago. Well, Crazy Vlogs, now you're a champion, so you'll be entered in as red. Guys, that was a great stream. That was a great stream. See you later, Josh. Playing GTA 5, that was such a fun game. It came out so long ago. Have a great night, Christina. Thank you for coming back. It was fun. I don't think anybody was added to the Hall of Fame. Oh, Ash was. I've seen Ash so many times. Ash was added to the Hall of Fame. And now Crazy Vlogs is added to the Hall of Champions. Congratulations again, Crazy Vlogs. Have a good night. Have a good night, Default. Come back in for another game sometime. Yes, Baronator, stay safe. Default, I've been very sick the last week, and I'm, as of the last hour, especially just getting worse. I'm hoping to stream 3 times tomorrow. I try to make a community post every day, a few hours before I start streaming. I post it in my time zone, which is Central Standard Time. I'm in like right outside of Chicago. I'm hoping tomorrow. I really want to do 3 streams, but I don't know if I will be able to do 3. 2 to 3 tomorrow. I'm hoping usually around 5 and 8 p.m. my time I do it. I might do another one at 2. I'm not sure, but around 5 p.m. We got a lot of fun games. We got some really funny games too. Oof, go see a doctor. Oh man, the closest I can get to a doctor in the USA with my budget would just be Googling a picture of a doctor. Awesome, Default. I'd love to see you back in again. I think what I really need to do is get some sleep. Hey, Default, focus on school. School is more important. I do stream on the weekends, but Default, learning is important. All right, guys, this has been really fun. I'm gonna hop off for the night. Well, actually, I gotta pop the balloons. So I'm gonna pop them real quick. Oh, so many balloons. Thank you, Richard. All right. Have a good night, guys. Have a good night. We'll be back on tomorrow.